华尔街电视正式开通会员制了，加入银牌会员，您的直播留言我们有问必答。此外，金牌会员还可以观看专属直播，与主播近距离互动。如果您是钻石会员的话，更可独享我们特别制作的专属节目。请点击节目下方内容简介中的链接，立刻成为华尔街电视会员吧。各位观众朋友们，大家好，这里是华尔街电视华尔街专访。本期华尔街专访，我们所采访到的是美国企业研究所 AEI 的常驻学者，同时也是经济专家以及中国问题专家史剑道 Derek Caesars。那么，史剑道有关于中美贸易谈判第一阶段贸易协议的进展，以及现在中国经济的形势，包括关于华为以及国安问题，又有什么样的最新看法呢？华尔街电视记者首先问到，关于中国经济和美中关系，我想简单问几个问题。我们的第一个问题实际上是与上个月签署的第一阶段贸易协议相关的，原定于本周开始，但是正如你所知，现在新闻周期的发展非常的快，而如今有关中国紧急情况的爆发已经淹没了所有有关中国的新闻。你能给我们提供有关贸易协议的最新情况吗？鉴于中国现在正在经历的事情，原定的购买协议是否还有效呢？对此，史剑道先生是这样回应的。
They just have a couple of quick questions on the state of Chinese economy and also U.S.-China relations. Shall we start right now?
Sure.
Awesome. So my first question actually has to do with Phase 1 trade deal. It was signed last month. It was scheduled to start this month. But, as you know, the news cycle has moved pretty fast. And now, all news about China has been overwhelmed by this novel coronavirus outbreak.So can you just give us sort of the latest on the trade deal? Is the purchasing agreement still valid given what the Chinese economy is going through?
Well, it's absolutely still valid for the simple reason that China hasn't asked it to be not valid. So obviously the Chinese face this choice of saying to the U.S., "Oh, can you wait?" We're not canceling the agreement because there would be no justification for that. We wanted to delay the implementation, but.If you say we want to delay the implementation, you're giving away how much damage you think there to your economy. Because if you say you want to delay the implementation by 1 month, okay, fine, but that means almost nothing. If you say you want to delay the implementation by 6 months, you're saying that the economy will take 6 months to recover. And, they don't want to admit that yet. Maybe some point they want to admit that, but they don't want to admit it yet. So China has not asked for the trade agreement to be changed formally.So there's no reason for the terms not to apply. Now, will China be able to make its purchases? Of course. China can make these purchases at any time. It has the money. It's not an issue. Will the Chinese now the purchases to be too much of a strain? And I think that depends on what sector you're in. Food is still being purchased, and in fact, food distribution is a problem. So China needs American food.But energy demand has dropped, and a big portion of the purchase is supposed to be energy. So China doesn't need as much energy. So I think, we're not at a point where the terms of the agreement have changed at all. We can anticipate delays in Chinese energy purchases because there's very low energy demand at the moment, or much lower than usual. But it's much harder to say, well, okay, there's going to be a delay. When will the purchases begin in a large scale? Will it be a month from now? Will it be 4 months from now? And the complicating factor is it's not just an economic choice. It's not just a question of look at the data and say, okay, China doesn't need U.S. energy until October. Because the other part of it is China's political decision to say, we don't want to admit that the harm in the economy will last very long.We want to say the harm in the economy is going to end very soon. And so that's what we're really waiting on here. We're waiting on China to decide what is its public position on the effects of the coronavirus on the Chinese economy. And then they will be able to say, all right, we need 2 more months, 2 extra months, or 7 extra months, or whatever it happens to be.
这里呢，史剑道先生回应说，由于一个很简单的原因，就是中国还没有提出要求协议无效，所以现在协议仍然绝对有效。显然，中国人面对美国时的选择是：你可以再等等吗？我们是不是要取消协议？但是现在没有理由，我们是不是想推迟执行呢？ 但是如果你说我们想推迟执行实施，那么你是在承认对你的经济已经造成损害吗？因为如果说要推迟实施1个月，好吧，这基本没用。但是如果中国说要推迟实施6个月，那么就意味着经济将需要用6个月的时间才能恢复。现在中国还不想承认这一点，也许他们未来会承认这一点，但是他们现在还不想承认。中国尚未要求贸易协议正式变更，因此没有理由不适用这些条款。现在我们话说回来，中国还有能力继续购买吗？当然，中国可以随时进行这些购买，它有钱，这并不是一个问题。中国人现在会认为购买的压力太大吗？我认为这取决于你所说的哪个领域。在食物方面仍然可以被购买，实际上现在食物分配在中国是一个问题，因此中国需要美国食品，但是能源需求却下降了，购买的很大一部分应该来自于能源，因此中国现在不需要那么多能源。因此我认为我们还没有完全改变协议条款，我们可以预见中国能源采购的延迟，因为目前能源需求非常低，远低于平时，但是很难说是否会出现延迟。什么时候中国才能开始大规模采购呢？从现在开始要1个月吗？从现在开始要4个月吗？复杂的因素是，这不仅仅是一个经济选择，这不仅仅是看数据的问题，说中国要到10月才会需要美国能源。而另一部分是中国的政治决定，我们不想承认经济的损害将持续很长时间。我们想说的是，经济伤害将很快结束，这就是我们在这里真正所等待的。我们正在等待中国决定其对中国经济影响的公众立场，然后他们能够说，好吧，我们需要再等待2个月，或者是我们需要再等待7个月。而华尔街电视记者继续说，我明白了，是的，我认为中方希望淡化此次爆发的风险和严重性，但是外部观察家和经济学者对于中国经济的影响似乎有不同的评估。第一季度 GDP 的增长率我听过低到 1.7% 的数字，高的数字我听过 5.8% 的数字。对此史剑道先生又是如何评价的呢？
Right. So I think sort of the Chinese side sort of wanted to probably downplay the risk and severity of this coronavirus outbreak. But I think outside observers and also economists have different assessment of sort of the impact of the coronavirus outbreak on the Chinese economy. So I've heard sort of Q1 GDP growth as low as 1.7% to 5.8%. That's going to be lower than a 6% target.
5.8% is absurd. That's a ridiculous number, and it's put out by someone who is either being dishonest on behalf of the Chinese government or anticipating that the Chinese government will be dishonest, and then just copying their numbers. I mean, sometimes I have an issue that people don't fully understand because it's a little strange, but sometimes the forecasts are not of what people really think is going to happen in the Chinese economy, but what they think the Chinese government will say is going to happen in the Chinese economy, which is a very different thing. So 1.7% in the first quarter, that could be right. Probably true first quarter growth is going to be negative. And we have already seen auto sales in January be negative. They'll be negative again in February, very sharply negative. Auto is the biggest component of retail sales. Chinese economy in the first quarter is always driven by consumption, by the Lunar New Year holiday. The fourth quarter, it's driven by investment, but in the first quarter, it's driven by consumption. Of course, consumption has been hit very hard. Even if you are told to go back to work and you need money, so you do. You also need food, so you go to the supermarket. But what you don't do is any of the other consumer things. You just don't go shopping. You don't travel. Of course, because someone on the flight or the train or the bus may have coronavirus. So it's entirely reasonable to think that compared to last year, which was a healthy, normal New Year, Chinese consumption will contract outright. And not like by a little, by a lot. When you are projecting some Chinese consumption measures, you get 40% declines. Now, it's only temporary, but we're just talking about the first quarter. True Chinese GDP growth is almost certainly going to be negative in the first quarter. That doesn't mean that the trajectory of the Chinese economy has changed at all. The Chinese economy, when an outbreak is finally understood by consumers and producers to be over, which is not necessarily when the government says it's over, but when that happens, the Chinese GDP growth will return to its previous trajectory. But in the first quarter, it's no way is it going to be 5.8%. It's going to be, at best 2% and probably negative. And the way to see that is just to take the very few indicators we have now, like auto sales and money supply, and think about normally what happens in the first quarter in the Chinese economy with regard to consumption, and then what happened this year so far.
这里呢，史剑道先生说 5.8 的增长率，这是荒谬的，这是一个荒谬的数字，它是由代表中国政府的不诚实的人提出的，或者是预期中国政府将不诚实的人，然后他们复制了他们认为中国政府将宣布的数字而已。有的时候我会遇到一个人们很难理解的问题，因为这的确有点奇怪。有的时候预测并不是人们真的认为中国经济可能会怎样，而是他们认为中国政府会说中国经济会发生的事情，这其实是完全不同的。因此，如果你说第一季度为1.7% 的增长，这可能是对的。第一季度的增长甚至将为负。我们已经看到1月份的汽车销售为负，他们将在2月份再次成为负面，而且是非常明显的负面。这是零售的最大组成部分。第一季度中国经济一直受到农历新年假期消费的驱动，第四季度主要是由投资驱动的，但是在第一次季度中主要就是消费。当然现在消费受到了很大打击，即使你被告知要重新上班，因为你需要钱，你照做，但是你仍然需要食物，所以你去了超市，但是你不会进行其他消费，比如你不会去购物，你不会去旅行，因为飞机、火车或者是公共汽车上的某些人可能会有病。因此我们完全有理由认为，与去年相比，我们记得去年是一个健康正常的新年，如果与去年相比，中国今年的消费量将出现大幅收缩，而不是小幅收缩。当你预测中国的消费量时，下降幅度甚至达到了 40%。 当然这些只是暂时的，但是我们只是在谈论第一季度。中国第一季度的真实 GDP 增长几乎可以肯定会为负。这并不意味着中国经济的轨道发生了根本变化，因为最终消费者和生产者认为中国经济爆发已经结束，这并不一定表示与政府表示结束的时间一致。但是等到那个时刻发生时，中国的 GDP 增长将恢复到先前的轨迹，但是在第一季度不可能达到 5.8 的水平，最多只能达到 2% 的水平，并且可能是负数。看到这一点的方法就是采用我们现在已经有的很少的指标，比如汽车销售、货币供应量等，考虑一下中国经济在第一季度在消费方面发生的情况，然后再看今年到目前为止的情况。而华尔街电视记者继续谈到，您对第一季度增长的评估似乎非常悲观，但是在谈到川普总统，他似乎对习近平遏制疫情的能力充满信心，至少这就是他在推特中所告诉我们的。但是公共卫生界、经济学家和新闻界似乎都更加悲观，所以我对川普总统的立场很好奇。我的意思是，他一直说习近平主席是我的好朋友，他很有能力，这次也是这样的情况吗？还是你认为白宫和我们之间存在着某种信息不对称，川普总统比我们知道的更多呢？对此，史剑道先生是这样回应的。
I see. But I mean, so your assessment of quarter one growth seems to be pretty pessimistic. But, speaking of President Trump, he seems to be pretty confident in Xi Jinping's ability to contain the outbreak. At least that's what he tells us from his tweet. But, the public health community, the economists, the journalist community seem to be much more pessimistic. So I guess I'm curious about what President Trump's stance is on this. I mean, is he just pulling another one of his President Xi is my great friend, he's very capable line, or do you think there's sort of information asymmetry between the White House and outside observers? Does President Trump know more than I do?
No, I don't think he does. Look, the to be blunt, and this is not a criticism of President Trump. It sounds very harsh, but it's a correct state. This is what he should think. His job is to care about the United States interests. And the United States interests are based on this trade deal. And the Chinese have not asked for any relief from the trade deal. So he's certainly not going to start making excuses for them. Right? I mean, if the President Trump were to say, it might be true, it might be the nice thing to do, if he were to say, it's terrible what's going on in China, we should really give them some help. Why would he do that? Right? If they ask for it, then you negotiate over it. But you don't just give it to them. And so, of course, President Trump, in addition to the fact that he's always praising Xi Jinping for reasons I do not understand, but in addition to that, of course, President Trump, it does not make any sense for President Trump to say, oh, I know I negotiated this trade agreement with China that took years and was very difficult, and I've been saying how wonderful it is, but now I'm just going to let the Chinese out of it even though they haven't asked, even though they haven't said they have a problem. That's not a sensible position for him to take. So it's not about knowing more. It's about the fact that the president's primary goal here is not being nice to China. The primary goal is to have the trade agreement that he and his staff worked very hard on be implemented as quickly and as fully as possible. And if China is not going to say, we have a problem, it doesn't make any sense for President Trump to say it for them.
这里呢，史剑道先生回应说：“不，他不知道。我认为他没有比你了解更多。看，我直截了当就这么说了。这并不是对于总统的批评，虽然听起来很刺耳，但是以下才是他应该考虑的问题。他的工作是关心美国的利益，美国的利益是基于贸易协定的。中国人并没有要求从贸易协定中获得任何救济和宽恕，他当然不应该为中国人找借口。”没错，如果他说哦，在中国现在发生的事情真的是太糟糕了，我们真的应该给他们一些帮助，那他为什么要这样做？如果中国人要求，那么你可以就此进行谈判，但是你不能仅仅就是把这样的让步条件交给中国人。因此，当然还有川普总统本人，由于我们不了解的原因，他一直赞扬习近平。而除此之外，川普总统所说的毫无意义我的意思是，他知道与中国谈判这项贸易协定，这一协定耗时数年，而且非常困难。他一直在说这个协议太美妙了，但是现在他却让中国人全身而退，甚至连中国人自己都没有提出这样的要求，即使中国人自己也没有说自己有问题。这对于川普总统来说不是个明智的立场，所以这并不是他了解什么特殊的情况。事实是，总统的主要目标应该是要使他和他的员工所非常努力才能达成的贸易协定尽快得以执行。如果中国不说我们有任何问题，那么川普总统对中国进行宽限没有任何意义。这里，华尔街电视记者继续问道，谈到川普总统的推文，有另外一个让人觉得困惑的问题。正如你所指出的那样，这关系到国家安全。那么，政府对于国家安全的立场到底是什么？这一届政府让我们外界看到的信息似乎完全矛盾。对此，史剑道先生又是如何回应的呢
So speaking of President Trump's tweet, there's another one that's really baffling, and that one's on national security, as you pointed out in your blog post. So what is the administration's stance on national security? I mean, the information from outside is just completely contradictory.
The outside information is wrong.
Right.
Look, what happens is that you have people in the administration who do have a very different view than the president. That's always true, right? There are always disagreements in administrations, especially over a topic that's as complex as the U.S.-China relationship with so many different dimensions and benefits to the United States and costs to the United States, which is me disagreement. For some reason, the press cannot stop talking to lower-level people. It doesn't matter. The president is directly involved in China policy, has been from the beginning. This isn't like policy with Brazil, where the president doesn't know what's going on and doesn't pay any attention and doesn't care. He's the one making the China decisions, not somebody you talk to at the Defense Department or at USTR or Treasury or whatever. They can have their opinions. As I said, if it were me, I would have my opinions. That's not who makes the decision. What matters to the president, as I said before, is the Phase 1 deal. If you tell him we need to do something and somebody else says that will mess with the Phase 1 deal, he'll say no every single time. So nothing is going to happen until the Phase 1 deal falls apart, or the election, or some trouble with the election. Right now, the president is going to prioritize the Phase 1 deal over everything else. And every time the press reports that, oh, there's a meeting in the White House, it's not going to matter. Think about all the things we said about Huawei. We've done nothing to Huawei on the economic side. We've charged them with crimes, still no sanctions. We're going to impose the sanctions soon. Really, no sanctions. We charged them for over a year with racketeering, and we're still supplying them. So the priority of the administration is really clear, and everybody reporting on these meetings of lower-level people, this is silly. The president makes calls on any important U.S.-China policy, and what he wants is the Trade 1 deal to go forward. Until he has a political problem or the Chinese back off on the Trade 1 deal, none of these meetings mean anything. 2021, maybe they'd mean something, but now they don't. And very reputable news organizations cannot figure this out. It's very strange. They've been wrong every single time. The Wall Street Journal has been wrong so many times. but they keep listening to people like me, except I'm not in the government, who say, well, we're talking about doing this. I don't care what you're saying. It's not going to happen.
这里呢，史剑道先生回应说，现在发生的情况是，行政部门中的人与其他人的观点截然不同，一直都是这样。政府之间总是存在着分歧，尤其是在一个话题如此复杂的情况下。我们知道中美关系如此之复杂，这是一个分歧。由于某种原因，新闻媒体总是与低级的官员交流，这些官员根本没有价值。总统从一开始就直接参与对中国的政策，这与对巴西的政策不同。对于巴西，总统不知道发生了什么，也没有给予任何关注，他不在乎巴西，但是他是做出跟中国有关决策的人，不是国防部、美国贸易代表办公室、财政部或者是其他机构与你们媒体交谈的人。他们可以发表意见，正如我所说，如果换做我会有自己的想法，但是我不是做决定的人。正如我之前所讲，对总统而言，重要的就是第一阶段的贸易协议。如果你告诉川普总统，我们需要做一些事情，而另外的人说这样的事情会干扰第一阶段的贸易协议，那么总统肯定会说不，每一次都是这样。除非第一阶段贸易协议破裂，或者是选举出现问题，否则什么都不会发生。总统将把第一阶段交易的优先次序放在其他所有事务之上。每当媒体报道说，白宫开了一次会议，那都毫无价值。想想我们关于华为的所有事情，在经济方面，我们对华为没有采取任何行动，我们指控其犯罪，也没有任何经济制裁。我们要实施制裁吗？不会制裁的。我们已经起诉他们盗用欺诈超过1年了，但是我们仍然在向华为供货。因此，政府的工作重点很明确。每个媒体都在报道这些下层官员的会议，这真傻。总统决定美国、中国之间的任何重要政策，他想要的是达成一项贸易协议，直到他遇到了政治问题，或者是中国人方面选择放弃贸易协议为止。这些会议没有任何意义。在2021年，也许他们会有一点意义，但是现在毫无意义。而且非常有名的新闻机构都没有办法弄清楚这一点，这真奇怪，他们每次都错了。华尔街日报在这个问题上错了无数次，他们一直在听那些不在政府中的人说我们正在谈论的事情，我不在乎这些人在说什么，他们说的事情不会发生。而这里，华尔街电视记者继续问道，我明白了，现在我们说到大选年的政治，我们已经看到了民主党候选人领域现在更加清楚一些的阵营。考虑到美国经济和川普过去几年所做的事情，你是否看到民主党中有任何潜在的候选人可能在本选举年挑战川普呢？对此，史剑道先生是这样回应的。
So speaking of election year politics, I mean, now we've seen sort of the Democratic field a little better, a little clearer. Do you see any sort of potential candidate from the Democratic Party that can potentially challenge President Trump in this election year, given the U.S. economy and given all sort of President Trump has done in the past few years?
Well, I'm not a political expert, so you're asking too broad a question. For me, I will tell you, a very simple thing, which is Democratic candidates have completely failed to put pressure on the president with regard to China. So if China is an important issue, which it may not be, but if it is, the president has a huge advantage because the Democratic candidates have said nothing. There's an example, Elizabeth Warren, who, I think honestly dislikes Wall Street. I don't think she's making it up. Has this opportunity to say that President Trump makes too many decisions on China on the basis of the financial community's interest. Like, for example, Chinese firms that are listed on U.S. stock exchanges, even though they don't obey U.S. disclosure regulations, because the financial community says, we're making a lot of money, we don't want to delist them. That's a very easy thing for her to say, but she doesn't say anything about it. So I'm not a political expert on the U.S. There are many, she has a reason. I don't know what it is. But on China, the president has a number of vulnerabilities, I think, as a China expert, and the Democrats have not done anything to take advantage of them. So if China is important, the Democrats are starting off at a big disadvantage because of their failure. Now, if China's unimportant, then, it doesn't matter. But I don't know how to answer your question more broadly. I don't know that much about U.S. politics.
这里呢，史剑道先生回应说，我不是政治专家，所以这个问题对我而言太广泛了。但是我告诉你一个很简单的事情，那就是民主党的候选人完全没有在中国问题上向川普总统施加压力。因此，如果中国是一个重要议题的话，也许中国不是，但是如果中国是重要议题的话，那么川普总统将具有重大的优势，因为民主党候选人什么也没有做。举个例子，伊丽莎白·沃伦，我认为老实说他不喜欢华尔街，我认为他不是装的，他其实有机会指责川普总统因为金融界的利益对中国做出了太多友善决定。比如，即使在美国证券交易所上市的中国公司，即使他们没有遵守美国的披露规定，只是因为金融界说，我们从他们身上赚了很多钱，我们不想让他们退市，川普总统就没有让他们退市。对于沃伦来说，抓住川普的这个把柄很容易，但是他什么也没说。我不是美国政治专家，可能他有他自己的理由，我不知道那是什么。但是在中国问题上，总统有很多弱点。我认为我作为中国问题研究者来说，民主党人没有做任何事情来利用中国的重要性。由于他们在这个问题上的失败，民主党人从开始就处于不利地位。如果中国不重要，那就没关系。但是更广泛的对你的问题，我就不知道了，因为我对美国政治了解的确不多。好了，以上就是本期华尔街电视华尔街专访的全部内容，希望你喜欢，并且继续关注华尔街电视的其他节目。华尔街电视正式开通会员制了，加入银牌会员，您的直播留言我们有问必答。此外，金牌会员还可以观看专属直播，与主播近距离互动。如果您是钻石会员的话，更可独享我们特别制作的专属节目。请点击节目下方内容简介中的链接，立刻成为华尔街电视会员吧。华尔街电视正式开通会员制了，加入银牌会员，您的直播留言我们有问必答。此外，金牌会员还可以观看专属直播，与主播近距离互动。如果您是钻石会员的话，更可独享我们特别制作的专属节目。请点击节目下方内容简介中的链接，立刻成为华尔街电视会员吧。